Hello, hello, hello. Today we're going to be checking out Amazon's New World Aeternum. This is the revamped version of the game with supposedly some new fresh content and just kind of a overall essentially an overhaul. It's kind of interesting to see a game for the most part re-release. That is, I don't know how to really sell that to you because that is insane in itself. Keep in mind, I'm a fan of New World. I think that the re-release is a good idea and they went with the mindset of console is the focal point here, which I know that probably is going to upset some people, but it really didn't do great on PC for a myriad of reasons, mainly due to competence levels being near the absolute core of the earth low. So it's a bit different, but we're gonna check it out. And some of the things that I've seen so far, I'm pretty much max level now. I hit 65 today, and some of the footage here is just throughout my adventuring, leveling, and all that stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and check it out. So first things first, let's talk about the launch. Okay, when New World Rise of Aeternum dropped with a ton of hype, honestly, I just gotta say it just kind of feels a bit more alive than what it was initially, because I played the original New World and this one feels kind of insane in terms of just activity. Now, is that activity great? Listen, maybe. Bro, I just loaded into the game. What the fuck is going on? Hey guys, I got invited to some guy's party. I think his name was like Diddy or something, from the boy Dr. Cheese. Anyone selling bulk fentanyl by the one and only Yagop. Ain't no party like a Diddy party by the God Hand Griffith. Any rich dudes want to pay off my debt for Hobbit feet pics? Trains, by the way. Yeah, that's about right. Endowed T-girl. Yeah, okay. Trains, by the way. Big trains. Trains, by the way. Also thigh high. Wait, what is happening? Trains assemble. Trains question mark. What I could do with a big old train. That's not, no. Yep, Thomas the Tank Engine looking thick. That guy's name is Burrito Beast Girls. I've never seen such an unhinged chat until I decided to play New World. You know, I gotta agree with my boy here. I've played a lot of MMOs and I've seen a lot of absolutely unhinged chats. This is king. Okay, so I will say that I don't know about other servers, but my server specifically, Pangea, also known as Transgea, that's not me like I came up with that. That's just what the server says on a regular basis, so please don't cancel me, not yet. I at least needed 2 more years before that happens, but I don't know what's going on, but on my server it is an absolute circus act of chat. It's insanity, and this is a good thing, because if it wasn't, that's a bad sign, because that means people don't care to sit on your game and cause trouble. Okay, you know your MMO is alive when they're debating trans rights and if Donald Trump is going to die in office. So I'm just saying, like, there's a whole lot of shit going on in this chat, bro. I don't know what's going on, but like, if nothing else, Pangea is the most entertaining server I've ever seen. So at the bare minimum, it's at least a show while you're going through the monotony of questing. All right, moving past the kind of community circus act that's going on Pangea, let's talk about combat for a second. So pretty much New World kind of has this action skill-based combat system, which is okay. It's not the prettiest thing in the world and it's not the most polished either. However, I will say for a launch, specifically currently right now, just strictly speaking on PvE, it's actually rather functional and it doesn't have really any hiccups or like slowdown moments or things that really take away from the combat. So if you're interested in kind of a more action-oriented style gameplay versus like TNL's tab targeting and kind of clunky targeting system, this feels a lot more at home for me, specifically coming from BDO. Like I said, it's nowhere near BDO's level of flashiness and just fluidity with the combat. However, it does feel like I have more control over my character and I have less issues with targeting, which feels absolutely phenomenal. In general, the combat just feels a little bit more smooth and refined than what it was before, and in comparison to some other MMOs on the market like TNL, Final Fantasy, which, I mean, these games are in different spectrums here in terms of combat, so take that with as you will, but for the most part, it's actually pretty good. And there was a decent rework with the combat system with some new weapons, abilities, and a better balance between PvP and PvE. I will say there's still some imbalance, but it's a little bit more manageable than what I remember from the beta and also from just the original game. So in general, this is actually, you know, rather pretty positive. I don't have anything super negative to say other than, like, man, it really sucks when you get outnumbered by mobs, because I swear to God, they have the view range of God. They will have a telescope from downtown and be like, and just, it's that guy that's just like, what is that? What is that? And then he's just fucking running at you. Every mob does this shit. It's like kind of annoying, but it's funny as hell at the same time. So you know, whatever. What the fuck is happening? What? Please, I just want to get out of here. This guy's getting ravaged by 2 dogs. I'm just following the road, man. I'm missing half my HP from like 2 arrow shots. This is AIDS. A fucking mob just spawned in front of me. You can't make this up. Stop it. That he did half my HP. What the fuck is happening? I'm running away. I'm leaving. There's a mob here. It's gonna kill me. It's gonna destroy me. I'm leaving. Stop hurting me. I'm leaving. There's just, it's impossible. There's no way. The fucking mobs are a raid boss. I'm fighting one of these fucking mobs and it's eating my ass, and one is literally coming to the top of the staircase. How did you see me? This is not okay. I'm getting deleted by a fucking AoE on the floor. Tell you right now, New World, I die once, I'm turning the game off. All right, for my PvE fans, okay, you're gonna love this. Rise of Eternum essentially has brought some serious heat when it comes to PvE content. Expeditions and dungeons have been completely reworked, making them more dynamic and challenging, which some of these actually will fuck you up. I'm not even gonna lie, you will get shit on. There was one dungeon where like these 2 dogs like showed up out of nowhere and they just beat the hell out of us, and it was like the craziest thing ever. And like we still got lucky and completed it because we got carried hard by one of the other players. But like, man, like if you don't pay attention to some of the mechanics, it actually will kind of beat you up. It's not like mechanic based like Throne and Liberty where there's a ton of different nuanced mechanics. This one's more about positioning and kind of just DPS checking the bosses. That is the early level though. As you progress through the entire you know, just game itself, once you get to the higher level stuff, there are more mechanics that are based around positioning, dodging things, staying in and out of things, and understanding what exactly you're going to do, and kind of shot calling a little bit. So there are still mechanics here, but I wouldn't say they're as like in depth as Throne and Liberty's, because I think Throne and Liberty offers a bit more. Now I kind of feel like I have to be a little critical here because I was very critical of Throne and Liberty of this, and kind of New World followed in the same footsteps. I don't understand what the idea here is with people and trying to time gate dungeons. So Throne and Liberty, if you guys don't remember, Throne and Liberty has a system where you have to pay a currency to open a chest, and essentially when you run out of the currency, there's no reason to run the dungeons anymore. It's just kind of, you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. You don't really get any real rewards out of it. However, with New World, they've taken a somewhat similar approach, but not as punishing. So essentially you can run the dungeons, I believe 25 times a day. And after running a ton of dungeons, because I'm a dungeon head, that's what I like to do. I like to tank. I like to do a lot of, you know, mechanics and things of that sort. So I ran through a lot of the dungeons, and I gotta be honest, those can be a little lengthy and kind of a slog. It's not really a slog per se to where it's boring, but it's long enough to where I'm like, man, there's no chance I'm gonna actually do 25 dungeons in a row. That is a bit psychotic. So in this regard, even though I'm going to be critical and say it's stupid to have a cap on this, I will say it's a bit more forgiving because one, the dungeon gives you massive amounts of loot, insane amounts of loot. Like I'm talking Borderlands looter shooter type of loot. Like every chest, every boss, you're getting something that is actually worth it, and it at least feels rewarding, especially early on. You're getting tons of loot, and it's not even like you're getting like crap. It's actually pretty good. Like you're getting legendaries, you're getting purples, oranges, you're getting blues. Pretty much from the first dungeon all the way to like the later dungeons, you're pretty much getting blue gear and green gear at the early stages, and then you're slowly upgrading to purples and legendaries, and that's pretty cool, and that feels like I'm actually progressing, which makes that cap feel a little less irritating because you're actually getting stuff. Whereas like Throne and Liberty, you one are locked to a currency, and 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to get the trait and or drop that you're looking for. So that feels incredibly punishing. Like you're just essentially losing and losing and losing, and it's just terrible, right? This game's like, okay, we have a dungeon cap, but here's all this loot per dungeon. So if you run this 25 times, you're gonna probably walk away with a lot of your best in slot stuff that feels really good. Like I said, I'm gonna be critical and just say that it's really dumb that you cap the dungeons, but on the other side of the coin, it's not that bad, because if you're doing 25 of those dungeons a day, one, you're psychotic and you need to be locked up and put under the fucking mental prison. But outside of that, you're gonna be getting loot like crazy. So you could run like a dungeon maybe 3-4 times, and you're probably walking away fully kitted out with some of the best gear that you can run around with. So while New World made this dumbass decision, and I think it's stupid regardless, it's still a million times better than Throne and Liberty system. So essentially, after spending some solid time in the tournament, I've got to say it's just a giant improvement. And I felt like from the beta and the original launch, Amazon has just taken a lot of feedback and kind of just really changed how they approach the game and how they're taking community feedback. It feels like they're doing pretty well. Throne and Liberty is also doing really well in the regard of taking community feedback. I hope that they actually fix the guild stuff in TNL, but luckily for this one, PvP doesn't feel like it's such an issue, because it's a choice, right? Like you choose to PvP and it doesn't impede your progression. Whereas like Throne and Liberty, some things are locked behind PvP and it's a PvP focused game. Whereas in this game, New World, it doesn't feel like you have to PvP to do anything. You could be a crafter, you could be a casual life skiller, whatever you want to call it. You could be, you know, just a dungeon runner, PvE or raid runner, whatever you want to do. It's just kind of like relaxed. Like it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm working towards PvP. So for those of you that just kind of want a game that you can just hop on and not have to actually do anything that requires PvP stuff, I mean, this kind of feels pretty good. I will say there are some guilds that are doing some like weird fuck ass, like, oh, yo, pay your whole month's salary to get into our guild. And then, you know, that's what they're doing. Like I think there's a like CWA or something on Pangea is like, yo, pay us like 5,000 gold and we'll let you in our guild. And it's like, what the fuck, who does that? I don't care about the politics. I don't care about like what the reasoning behind that is. It's just stupid. It's just ridiculous, because I feel like the payout for the player, it does not match the input that the company would benefit from getting that player's money. It doesn't seem to reflect a good ROI. Typically, if you're going to do something like that, the player has to have an immense ROI on that 5,000. And I feel like that's not going to be the case, which this feels like a literal Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme scam. And I don't condone that shit. I think it's stupid. And I hope to God that they stop that shit, because it's embarrassing, genuinely. So overall, my first impressions and everything of the sort, I think New World's great. I think it's off to a pretty solid launch for console. PC players, I've seen a lot of negativity, because it's just like, oh, if you're on console, you know, it's just PC versus console, that whole, you know, the day old argument of whatever's whatever. I play on both. I don't give a shit. It doesn't really matter. I guarantee you some of you fucks have gotten sauced up by some console players, and some of the console players and a lot of the console players got sauced up by some PC players. It is what it is. Just like that's what's gonna happen. So PC players are gonna mauled and be mad that like console ended up getting the focal point in this game, and then console players are gonna be proud of that and they're gonna show pride in that, and that's gonna be what happens. And then that's gonna drive a healthy PvP rivalry scene. I dare to say healthy, because it's probably not going to be healthy. It's probably going to be some absolute fiesta of a circus. So no thank you. But, you know, I at least am on the funnest server to watch that firestorm. So I'm here to just kind of see where that's going to go. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have anything to add, please put it down in the comment section below. But overall, New World's pretty good. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.